Hello crafters and welcome to P2PCrafts online, brought to you by From Picture to Page and Beyond Papercraft shows, which is our scrapbooking, mixed media art and paper crafting community. Now I'm Michelle Brown, I'm Creative Director From Picture to Page, and I am so excited to be here with you this evening. Now whether you're watching here on Facebook Live or whether you're watching on YouTube, please let us know that you're there. Now, P2PCrafts Online has over 30 demonstrations with our local retailers and some very special guest artists, and I hope you're here for our very special guest artist today. Now, for all the session details, head over to our website from picturetopageandbeyond.com.au, where you can see all the lineup for Friday the 9th, Saturday the 10th, and Sunday the 11th of October. You can get all the links to our guests and then get all the information in one place. Now, while you're there, make sure you sign up to our email as well so we can get them directly into your inbox and we can let you know when the replays are ready to go. And of course, when our shows are up and running again, we can give you all the details then too. Now, firstly, we just have to thank our fantastic sponsors. Firstly, to Darkroom Door, who provide fantastic range of red rubber stamps and stencils. And they're a lovely small company in New South Wales, and they really do pride themselves on supporting independent retailers and continuing to support crafters and inspire crafters through YouTube, Instagram, and on Facebook. And of course, secondly, a huge thank you to Uniquely Creative, who curate fantastic kits with their Creative Kit Club each month, giving you the stamps, the instructions, and everything you need to create lovely creations. So whether you are watching here on Facebook Live or watching a replay, please let us know that you're here. Pop in the comments, say hi, just like Michelle and Mary and Trish have. And it's lovely to have you all here. And it really is an opportunity to ask any questions, to learn something new, and hopefully rekindle that creative spirit that we might have lost over the last few weeks. And so today we are so excited for P2PCrafts Online with Marlene. Hello, Marlene.
Hi there, Michelle. Thank you for inviting me.
We are so excited to have you here. Now, for those of you that may not have heard of you before, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, my name is Marlene Meijer, and I create a product range for a Dutch company called Studio Light. I used to design for mostly American, Canadian companies, and since a few years now, I've decided to go totally with Studio Light. So I've got everything from watercolors, journals, texture plates, stamps, pencil cases, whatever.
Maybe we should list all the things you're not doing.
And it's just all around crafting supplies or all around our journaling supplies that I think I would like. So mainly things that makes you happy, bright, and quirky.
Most definitely. Now, you've just had some amazing new releases and they've been happening quite frequently. How do you sort of get all those ideas and get them into some sort of sequence to release?
Okay. I design quite far ahead from time. So now all of my designs are already submitted for the whole of next year. Wow. I've already submitted those. So usually what I do is just draw, and draw. Mm-hmm. And just sit down and do the work, and you get some stuff that you like. You might get some stuff that you think, oh, I might do something else in that line. And once I've have a bulk of work, I then go and select, and then you start seeing a theme throughout what you were doing. And then I build on that theme. So next year's products are divided into 3 sections. And the first for next year is going to be a very personal collection for me. So hence the name of the collection as well. So you'll see it in January.
Yes, because you really have only just released your current collection.
Yeah, Art Arabia is very close to my heart. I lived in the Middle East for 4.5 years, and I met my husband in the Middle East. My sister lived there. My parents lived in Kuwait. I lived in Dubai. So we have a very strong link with the Middle East. So what I'm depicting is really something from my own life, just like my previous collection, Go Dutch, is about my immigration to the Netherlands, as I am South African and lived there and studied there until I was 20. I left South Africa and moved to the Middle East, and afterwards came to my current place where I'm now, and that is the Netherlands, where I live with my husband and 2 kids.
And that's really interesting, because I did think the Arabian collection, like you said, it seemed to just come out of left field. It didn't seem like, a theme we were seeing anywhere else. It just seemed completely unique.
Yeah, no, it's really a celebration of my years living in the Middle East. I just lived I first lived in the desert, totally surrounded by just desert, and I could see the Burj Al Arab. And afterwards when Jan and I moved in together, we actually lived just behind a mosque, so I could wake up from a song of prayer every night. Mm-hmm. I could hear all of that, and I just loved my time there. It was just a fantastic, fabulous time, and all the smells and sounds and textures and all of the colors in the Middle East is just fabulous. It's so different than what we used to have. So it is gorgeous to put that over into a design product.
Yeah, and I think at the moment, considering we're not really traveling anywhere, it's nice to sort of, do journeys of the mind and take ourselves other places.
Yeah, it's a lot of people say it's about a bit of 1,001, what do you call it? 1,001 Nights collection type of thing.
Arabian Nights, yes.
Yeah, Arabian Nights, but to me it is just what's there, and you can actually build it up into any type of city that you want to build it up into, and it's just the use of colors that you need to use. If you would do it all in white and blues, you might get a more Mykonos style city that you would build, but if you would use all like sandy colors, it would look more like an Arab city.
Yeah, excellent. So what have you got to share with us today?
Oh, I've got, of course, my Artsy Arabia collection today, and some of my new products that's called the Art by Marlene Essentials that I brought out a while ago. So today I will be sharing this page.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. And I know we shared a photo of that last week, and I think we almost melted the internet. So I know that there are lots of people really looking forward to seeing you play with that today.
So I'm going to give you a few options and variations of how you can do it. It's not a really difficult thing to do. Mm-hmm. So just have fun, really.
Yeah, excellent. And I think that's like so many craft techniques. They look so complex, but when you understand how to break down the steps, it really is easy for everyone to give it a go.
The system that I usually work with is very simple steps, but a lot of smaller, simple steps. So it's never very difficult. So usually in my classes, as well in my live classes, I also break it down into very, very easy steps initially. And all the small steps becomes very difficult at the end, but it is not, while doing it, you don't experience it as being difficult whatsoever. And what I always say, and that is actually my motto, if it's not pretty yet, it's just not finished.
It's not pretty yet, it's not finished.
Don't get stressed out. So until you're happy, don't stop. You just continue, because you can layer with mixed media and art journaling. So you can always just stick something on top of that. Just go on.
And keep going. Excellent. Fantastic. Well, if you're ready, let's jump into it.
I'm ready. I'm going to put you over into my other camera and let's go.
Okay, let's go. Fantastic. Oh, I just can't wait to see Marlene breaking down that journal page and just showing us all the steps. Because like I said, when I saw it, it was just took my breath away. And then when she started to explain the steps again, it's like, sort of unveiling the bits and pieces. Suddenly you're going, oh, okay, I can see those bits. So Marlene. Okay, we are now ready. Okay, Marlene, take it away.
Hello, so let's get started. I'm going to put this one to the side and just get you all. So this is my art journal, so you can see this is a ring bind system. So I'm just taking that page out first. That's the most important part. And this is actually what we are creating today. A very, very exciting page. So how do you get started? It's actually very, very easy. And I like things that looks difficult, but it's darn easy. So I'm going to put this one aside, and I'm going to just take you to a few samples I've already made. And this is one of them. So you can see this is just another colorway that you can prep. You can also do it in bright colors.
Ooh, nice.
And this one was done with actually just sticking some other stenciling for the same stem, sticking it on top of there.
Oh, right.
So this is another one before I've done the stamping around. This is one I've done, and then I've just done some stamping and embossing around there. Another colorway with one of the other texture plates. So this is really what we're going to start with first. So let's put these aside. So I've got 2 blank pages here, and this is the first 2 pages that we're going to work on. And what are we going to use? We're going to use my new texture plates.
New texture plates, nice.
So this one is really a more combined tile-like collage element texture plate. And this one is more that Middle Eastern feeling floral type texture plate. So I'm going to put them to the side and let's start. So what you need is you will need a gel plate. And I've put a supply list if anyone wants to actually just do the steps along with me. So what you would do over here is that you would actually just put your paint on. So we can look at a colorway that we want to work with. And I might go for, I kind of do like the bluish tones. So I'll put it down there. Then I'll do I'll see the blue. And then the turquoise. So what I'll do now is actually just run the first color just take the excess off, then go over to my second color. Take the excess off, and then to my third color. And I can't really see if there's any questions yet. Let me see.
So Marlene, Michelle was just asking, what's the difference between a texture plate and a rubber stamp?
Well, actually, it's just easier to clean. That is the big thing, because these actually don't have any backing. So usually my cling stamps would have a cling layer behind them, and these are just bigger and more stable for you to actually just use as an item on its own. So I'm going to use my well-loved and well-used one here. And what you would do is just put it on and just softly, you don't have to put any pressure on it, just softly tab onto your texture plate. And the great thing about a texture plate is you just put it in some lukewarm water with some soap in there. And once you're finished, you can just use a little brush, a soft brush, and you can just rub it off. And that is not what we would do with our normal stamps. So I'll put my page, and then this one I'll put kinda in the middle. It doesn't have to be an exact science, as you'll know that nothing with me is exact science. I'm a bit, let's just go with it.
I think that's a good approach.
And I'm just rubbing it really softly on the back just to get, you can see the middle one just didn't get as much, but I'm going to fix that just in a moment. But this is fine for my print now. If I would want to do a different colorway, like for this one was done with a stencil. This one was done with the other texture plate that I just showed you, with this one. And I actually repeated it and flipped it like that. You will see the pattern on there. And this one was actually made with the same one as this, only other way around. So I actually want to go with this one, I think. This is the one I'm going to go with. And your second step is you'll get your stamps out. So let's just get this onto the side. And the stamps that we're going to use is two different steps or sets, the Arabesque set and the Night Owl set. The first one we need is this little tile pattern from my Night Owl set. And the Night Owl set, if you want to look for it, I know that the Crafters Workshop and I believe Dot from Ink Artisan sells them as well. Crafters Cupboard, Craft Zone also sells my product, so you can have a look there to find them. So I'll just put my little tiles on there, and I'll take my archival ink out, and I'm using a waterproof ink, so whenever I want to do anything else on there, I don't have to be scared that I will mix the pattern up at all. So I'm just gonna, so you'll just go all around.
So Marlene, Bev was just wondering, what size is your journal page?
Oh, that's a good question. I wonder if someone's on there that can measure it quickly. I don't have a ruler with me. I call it my perfect size. It's not an A4 and it's not an A5. It's just in between the two.
Okay.
Yes. So you'll go around your whole page doing that. And of course, I've already prepped a page that I've done that's all around, because I'm not going to make you all watch me stamping that whole thing around. So I've already prepped that. And then you want to create some flowers, because once you finish with this, so these steps are easy. No one can argue that. Don't you think, Michelle?
No, it's just beautiful.
It's easy, isn't it? So that's quite easy step. So the next thing we want is just to have, I've got a good quality, it's actually a printer paper, and it's made, I believe it's almost 200 grams, but it's a really strong, smooth paper that I stamp on quite often. So just see my block. So what I want to do now is just stamp a couple of my flowers, because the flowers that I'm going to put on there comes from the Arabesque set. And I'll show you how to create those. And of course, I won't make you watch me fuzzy cut them. I've already done ones on the back. And I've already have ones that's dried, but I do want you to show you how to create these. So what you'll see is when you buy the stamp set, I just want to see this one. This is actually attached to one another. But I usually just cut my stuff up because I find it easier to use with my single flowers separately as well. So I'm going to just put this to the side. This is another floral. And I usually stamp quite a few flowers. So I can do them in different colorways, and I can see which size of which stamp goes nicest with what I want to do. So don't stop and just do one stamp of each. Stamp a couple, use a couple of different sizes as well. And afterwards, you can, of course, clean your stamps with a baby wipe if you're going to be neat and tidy. A possibility. I'm just going to put them to the side for the minute. So you've got this in full view. I just want to make sure you can all see this really well.
Yes,
can you all see
we can
this
see
well?
fantastic,
Yeah?
Marlene. It's great.
Okay. So I'm just going to get a small baby wipe. Just clean off a bit of that excess on the back. And then I'm going to go over to some watercolor painting. Let's see, I just want to dry this off. Okay, so what I have with my watercolors, what I'm going to use is the Brighter and Bright watercolor set that I have with Studio Light. And this watercolor set does have a broad brush, it has a water brush, it has a little sponge that you can just use the excess water from your brush, you can pull off there. Usually I use these when I'm traveling, but when I'm at home, I usually use a brush from Rembrandt, and this is the Pure Sable hair brushes. So I have those in 3 sizes that I use. I use a 12, I use a 9 or a 10, and a 4, and that's only ones I've ever have to use. I'm going to use my smallest one, and then I'm going to take you through my process. That's really difficult. Okay, let's just spritz that. And I'm going to put my water here so you can see exactly what I'm doing, because I want you to see how much water I'm using and the consistency with my paints. So what you want to do, I'm just going to put this bit to the top, sorry, is I'm going to take my water and I'm going to take my pinky and I'm going to put some pink on there. And you can see I'm not being careful. Really, I'm not. And then I'm going to take that orange. I'm going to softly blend that into the pink. And you can see I just go over the edges. You don't have to be careful, because it's better when you fuzzy cut to go over the edges, because you won't end up with white borders. So that's very important. So then I'll go to that, and make sure that your pigment and your water mix well. Just maybe to the ends, just put a brighter color.
Oh, I love how you just splash that color around. It looks like it's on.
You're getting nervous?
No, it looks like it's on like fast, like double speed.
Yeah. Well, I'm quite the impatient type, so you wouldn't be wrong. So I'm going to just put a bit of that darker purpley color around there. And that's it for this one for the moment. And that's all you need. You just want a lot of bright colors, because once you fuzzy cut it, then they'll just blend. These bright colors will just blend all over the place. So the next one, I'll start with that purpley color. I'll just put a bit there, like that. And a bit of pink. And maybe a dot of yellow on the inside. So it's really a really difficult technique when you overthink it.
Yeah, like you said, it's not overthinking it. It's just sort of getting the lighter colours in one spot and the darker in another.
Because some people say, oh, well, I can't get it to blend. And you have to think a bit. You can see when I did this, for example, when I did this flower, I started here, I went down, and later on put the green. And I made sure that the green wasn't too wet, so it didn't flow over into my pink too much, because what you would get together with those is a brown. So that is something that you don't want. So just be careful which colors you use next to one another when you're using wet on wet techniques. And with my watercolors, it's very important that you remember you need enough water and you need enough pigment. So you don't want a syrupy consistency when using this. It should be really watery, but still bright. So, okie dokie. So that is a few. I just want to show people, because people get nervous with this part usually.
Yeah.
They don't understand how easy it can be. So, but I do promise. Yeah, muddy color is never good, Danny. Danny knows that I'm as patient as anyone can possibly be. So I can really not wait for paint to dry. But you can see how easy that goes. gives you a good idea of what the technique is of painting these things, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
Gives you a good idea. So I've already painted a few and dried them and fuzzy cutted them, because I wouldn't do it to you to watch me doing this the whole bloody day.
And perhaps just to point out, for those of us that are new, when we talk about fussy cutting, we mean like cutting close to the outline to give it a real detailed look.
Yeah. So here you can see a couple of flowers that I've already painted up, and I've also, for people not feeling comfortable yet, I say yet, with painting it in this way, you can also use alcohol markers like these two are made with alcohol markers. So that's fine. You can do that as well. But these are the ones that I've done. And once your first layer is dry, for example, this, I've done this in a similar way. You can go in with pencils and just put a pop of color everywhere that you like to. So I've had one that I haven't done with pencils yet. This one. This one isn't done with pencils yet. So this is the ones that I've painted in exactly the same way. And what I do is I usually take my pencils out, and I believe that the Crafters Cupboard still has these pencils. They're called Caran d'Ache Fluo pencils, and you have them in an orange, in a yellow, in a green. And they just add a bright pop of color.
Yeah, I think Jennifer's going to show us them tomorrow.
Okay. So what you would do is just add some of that just to the inside, for example. Or if you want a bright border, you just put that yellow on there, for example. Or if you want any color or anything extra, you just add that to them. It's also nice to just go in with a normal pencil. I like the Uniball Posca pencils. And of course, I love my, where are they now? Yeah. These are just my Primacolor pencils. So what I'll do is I'll just go in and just make sure that I've got a few blue bits that pop out a bit.
And Marlene, I love how your pencils look well used.
Oh, yes. Nothing in my house is not used. When it comes to craft supplies, it's a bit of a bummer. I use everything.
That's good. I've got pencils that look fantastic because I'm too scared to use them.
No, I have to say I do buy craft supplies, but I'm not a hoarder. I do use everything that I actually buy, and if I don't, I give it away because it's better used. I feel that too many craft supplies unused kind of kills my creative mojo.
Yeah.
And I can't use anymore. Mm-hmm. So it's just easier just to have that not in my face all the time. So here's my page, and you can decide any side, which one side you want it to, because depending if you're going to have it on the left-hand side page or right-hand side page, you can put it down. So I'm going to put this one like this, and then I'm going to look at which flowers I want to use. So I can see, do I want to use 2 flowers? Do I want to use 3 flowers? Do I want to use a smaller flower? Let's see. This, or maybe this. I kind of like the bright with that. Maybe this one is better. Maybe like that. Let's put these. And then what I've done, I've cut strips of paper. This is from my collage paper. Then I've used black paper and I just made a few dots on them. I used black paper and created a few white stripes on them. I've used white paper and I've done black stripes on them. So I've created all different types of stems. So I can use a colored stem for my flower, or I can use a black and white stem for a flower. And maybe a thin black and white one, thicker black and white one. Oh, geez. And on this one like that. And then maybe something like that. What do you think? Yeah?
Yeah, I think
Are we
that's...
okay like that?
Yep, I like it.
Yeah. So, what will we do for the next step is we will need our glue and we will need our scissors. I love this little Tim Holtz scissors. They just work really well for me. I'm going to just put this to the side. Can't actually have a mess around me when I'm working. Sorry. I'm very organized when I'm working. This one a bit thinner. So I'm going to cut this smaller and I'm going to make it about that long. So I'm going to cut it off here and then stick this one down. So the first one is going down. So I'm going to just zip like that.
Oh, the sound effects as well. Excellent.
Yeah. It's free. Sound effects are free today. Okay, then a bit of the glue on the black. You can use any white glue and you can use a glue stick. The only thing with a glue stick is I'm always scared that with our cold, humid climate in the Netherlands, glue sticks aren't always permanent for us. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I'm always a bit careful for something I want to last a bit longer. I might opt for, let's see, that. So we'll snip this one off here. Yep. Get that snipped off. So is there people on here that has used Art by Marlene products before? Or that or have never heard of it before? Would actually like to know that.
Yeah, I think we've got a good combination of crafters watching. I know there's definitely some that have used it before, some that were at the class when you were in Australia last.
Okay. And I would say, if you would mind, ladies, pop up from where you're from so I can see where you all came in from and who's watching at the moment. See, that's quite easy, I think. Yeah. And then that little one, put that snippet off. And you can see I've already fuzzy cut it all, because that's something I would do. I would paint them during the day, and in the evening in front of the telly, I will sit down and fuzzy cut them in a little basket or something.
Yeah, that's what sometimes you can break
Victoria.
Yeah, you can break your crafting down. You can do the stamping and the painting and then cutting out separate and then using them separate.
Yeah, certainly. There's a lot of people from Victoria. I see a few from the Netherlands, Melbourne. A few from Melbourne.
Oh, not so beautiful Melbourne at the moment, but we're holding on.
Oh, well, the thing is, the Netherlands are quite bad with the COVID at the moment. I saw that we're one of the ones with the most COVID.
Oh, gosh, yeah, I think it's tough all round.
Yeah. Let's see, Australia, Melbourne, England. Oh, nice to see where everyone's from.
It is.
Yeah. Okay, once you get down to this step, there's one more step that I feel is very, very important. And I'll take you through to my other page so you can see. I kind of like the stressed or just that look that you can create to make it look like a shadow or just a bit more blended. Mm-hmm. So 2 colors that I usually use, you can use a Stabilo or pencil for that, of course. But 2 things that I like to use is 2 colors of paint gray is a great color to use for that. It's not black.
Right.
It gives you a nice shading color, but it's just a grey bluish color. Or your raw or burnt umber.
Ah, yes.
So just depending on which color way you want to go, I'm going to put a bit of raw umber out.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point. You just need to be a little bit careful using black for this sometimes. You're better off using something that's more of a darker blue or a brown just to give you a bit of leeway.
Yeah, well, the thing is, I can't find my brush. Just have a quick peek in here. Here it is, I think. Don't have a smaller one? No, this is not really good. So you just don't want to do any overkill. So I'm going to take my cloth and I'm going to just wet my brush, and then I'm going to take the excess off onto a little paper towel and then go in and just dry brush it around.
Oh, okay, so it's quite a dry brush.
Yeah. You don't want to... And then I'm going to take the excess off and I'm going to just... So, get in there again. So once again, go in, get a bit of paint on there. And then once I get to this stage, I do wet my brush. I take the excess water off and I just blend it out a bit. So you get a softer edge to it. Take the excess, always take the excess off before you go onto your page. Otherwise you'll end up with large blobs of brown paint that you don't know what it's all about onto your page. We don't want that. That's not the look we're going for. And the thing is, to have colors look really bright, you do need some muted tones, you do need some shading, because otherwise it just becomes all flat and bright and too much. So you need a bit of that toning down, creating a bit of depth for colors to get their chance to shine. It's like giving someone a microphone. So let's... So get it in there. Get it in there. And that is really what it's all about. So is there any questions on this shadows?
Danny points out that, yeah, it's a great technique for building them up. We've melted the comments of where everyone's from, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Michelle was asking what time it is in the Netherlands, but Benita and Burke has already answered that for us.
Oh, yeah?
So that is good. Danny did measure your journal size as well and popped that in the comments.
Oh, thanks, Danny. You star. Oh, Danny is my star. I always pester her with, go Danny, go Danny. So that was my first comment when she was going on, go Danny. So Danny knows exactly what I mean. Danny was on my promo team for a couple of years, and she was so much fun.
Yeah, and so Benita was just asking, what brush do you recommend for the shading technique?
This is a number 2. This is what I call, I don't know what you call it, a filbert brush, I believe. In English, is it called? It's like one with a rounded edge. So not a flat brush, but a filbert brush. It's got a rounded edge, so you don't get any sharp ends anywhere.
And then the bristles are sort of fairly stiff, so you can get that extra shading.
Yeah, you don't want too soft, because otherwise you can't do anything. The pressure will just, a bit of bend. So that's about really what you would create I'm going to finish this page off because it's just nicer for people to see a finished product.
Yeah.
Tell me if I don't have enough time left, Michelle.
Well, no, you are in luck because you are the last session for the day, so we can give you some extra time.
Oh, but I'm sure you need some sleep and you need to have dinner.
Yes, no, I have
Or
had
you
some
had
dinner.
already?
I can't not have dinner, but
Oh.
yes, Betty's calling, and we'll be back for another 12 or 13 sessions tomorrow too.
Oh, gee. What time is it now? 8 o'clock? 9 o'clock there?
Yeah, 20 to 9.
Oh, 20 to 9. That is fabulous. So I'm just going to.
So yeah, not too late, but getting close to my bedtime.
Oh well, you won't survive here. My husband I usually go to bed when he wants to go to bed, but he's always only in bed by about 12, 12:30.
Oh gosh, that would not work for me. I think it's a sign of maturity when you understand when your bedtime is and you can stick to it.
Yeah. My husband's 62, so he's not mature yet.
Oh well.
Let's see. What I want to do is just around this edge, just bits of that. Can you see? I've diluted that brown right down, just like really creating a wash.
Yeah.
And because acrylic paint is not good to dilute with water on a canvas because you're actually breaking up the molecular structure of the acrylic paint, so it'll crack and things like that later. But on paper, it's fine because the paper fibers keeps the acrylic paints in there.
Yeah, and that just makes such a difference to that frame of colour.
Yeah, it just kind of just gives it a bit of shading.
Yeah.
And it just makes the middle pop out a bit more.
Yeah, I think shading is what takes craft to art.
I think so too. I think you're right with that. And that is what, you need to see what makes it pop. And there's just that final stages where you need to do that just to get it, just to jump out.
Yeah, and there's something about that colour that just makes that stamp sort of look a bit more sort of grungy and worked in as well.
Yeah. Well, then I have a sticker book, and it's from the Art by Marlene series, the Art by Marlene sticker book. It's called Sticky Quotes, and I've got loads of different stickers in there. I'm not going to go down that road and look for stickers now with this because, this is enough for you guys, I think, for now, because I still want to show you something else. So I don't want to waste the time and do that. But I think this is quite clear to everyone so that they can see what the page really looks like. And I'll take a photograph and I'll pop it over to you. So if you want to post it so people can see the results, I'll also try and post it in the comments if I can, a photograph. I don't know if you can put a photograph in the comments.
I think we've done fairly well to block most of the spammers, but hopefully we can let your comment come in.
And only thing you would want to do at the end when you're totally finished is, of course, just take your white and your black pen, and you might want to just go in and just do a few highlights and lowlights. You can see that just gives it a bit of an edge.
Yeah, makes such a difference.
Just and no stiff following the lines exactly, because then it'll just become too stale again. It should remain plain. It shouldn't. You don't have to do anything, of course, but in my mind, it shouldn't become too stiff.
Yeah.
And
what white marker are you using there?
I'm using a Sharpie, a white Sharpie.
Mm-hmm. A good white marker is like the holy grail of art journaling.
Yeah. I use a Unique Bull postcard, the white one always as well, but the broad. No, not a Unique Bull. Yeah, it's the Unique Bull. Yeah, Unique Bull broad, the white one. You know that one?
Yeah.
And then with the black, of course, you want to go into places and just make sure that the black is really black, especially at the bottom there. do a bit of that shading. Just go over the stamping lines, but loosely.
Yeah, so Linda was just asking, you talked about highlights, but what are the lowlights?
Lowlights is when you go into your black with your black pen, like what I'm doing at the moment, and you just want to to make your blacks darker in certain areas, and that'll just ground it all a bit more. So can you see, for example, what I did there?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that's really what you just want to do, is just go into places that you think, for example, if you think that there's not enough definition into the pattern there, I would go over with a pen and at the base here, and you will see the difference already.
Yeah.
When you just emphasize a certain part, but don't do that everywhere. Because once you do the same thing everywhere, your eyes don't focus on it where you just did it a few spots, and that makes it bland again. So to keep it playful, you need to just select places that you think that your eyes will hit the page. So this is what I'm for the workshop for now, but I do want you to keep you all just 1 second for a few seconds
Yep,
more.
no, that's
And
fine.
to show you, as you know, I also have some journal dies out. And I've got 2 journal dies out, and the one is a square format die that'll be this booklet, and the other one is this shape booklet that you'd be able, a little journal that you could be able to create. So I'll just put them. I've got quite a few.
You've made a few, Marlene.
I made a few. Can you see?
Yes, we can.
So what's great about them, I don't actually have them with me. I forgot to bring them with me, the dies themselves. Mm-hmm. But you've got an outer die, and the outer die is actually for the outside page.
Uh-huh.
This outside one. The outer die has 2 holes in it. And you also have an inner die. And when you have the inner die, I just want to see, just pop this page out. This is the pages of the inner die. So it just has a little scallop out from the page, just so it is easy to put them through, that they will stay in and not shift anymore, and without it being a triangle, because then it'll tear your pages. It'll go in there. So, but this is also a perfect die shape for a card.
Ah, yes.
So you don't have to only make this, but you can use this as a perfect die shape for your cards. But you can also say, I want to use my outer die for a card. For example, this one is made into a card, and then I've used a little piece of ribbon that I've added to that. And then this is a card as well, and I've used the extra dies that'll cut out the lacy pages and everything. So you get all of those in there. So all of the different elements comes in the die sets, mm-hmm. and it's a very elaborate, large die set really, and you will get all different things. So within the set, you will get a few different die cut sets. And you'll get, for example, an outer die that will cut out the outer page. Usually I would stiffen it with a piece of mylar, with like clear plastic.
Oh, yeah.
But mm-hmm. because for photographing and filming purposes, I leave it clear, because otherwise the sheen isn't okay. But this is what you will have for your first one. Then you'll have your second die, and then that'll cut out the whole piece. And this is actually built up from 1, 2, 3 different die sets they fit into one another. Mm-hmm. So this is using all 3 of them. This is using 2 of them. And this is using 1 of them.
Ah, beautiful. It gives you that layered effect.
Yeah, so you can use this. Here you can see I've only used 1, but now I've used the outer edge one. You can also see it. So, and here I've used that outer edge, but just cut out the whole middle part. That is the part that I've cut out from the front page. So that is definitely a fun part of it.
Yeah.
And here you can see I've also have a few of these in different sizes in there. So you can also make these see-through pages. And of course, these are all my die cuts from my die cut books. And what's great about them, I've got all of my stickers and my die cuts are all in my booklets twice. So you can always, if you have a quote and you want to stick it right over like a see-through part, you can always, or like this, you can stick one on here and you can stick exactly the same quote at the back. And because they're exactly the same size and width and everything, they'll fit perfectly.
Yep.
So that is what I would do in quite a few of these little books. So I just made a few for you to see. This is from my faux leather. I made these from my faux leather and my nudist, and this is an inner page that I made with, this is my scrapbook paper that I've got out. So once again, you'll see that's all created in that page. And this is using all my scrapbook paper and some older stamps I've included in there as well.
Oh, lovely. So you've really thought through how to bring all those elements together.
No, yeah, I want people to be able to combine, because these elements are all in those books. So you'll be able to use all of those. This is in the book. These little die cuts are in the book, or cutting dies. This, the one that cuts out that little part.
Oh, that's so
is in
cute.
there. Because then you can do that and that, and then it also cuts out that part.
Yeah.
But you can also use that same little label thingy that I showed you in these books. You can also cut them out, and you can use that label, and you can use it as an edging on your page. Keep your elastic safe. So that is really it. I wanted to introduce you to my little booklets and show you my gorgeous page.
There is certainly, yes, some comments saying people love the dies, and those that don't have them look like they might need them very soon too.
Oh, you do need these, really, you do need these. They are so lovely. And once you get to play with them, and you can see that you can actually just make a quick card with it as well.
Yeah.
When you just, even for people that's not card makers like myself, I mean, if I actually have to measure anything, it's not the holy grail, but this makes it a lot easier.
Yep, run it through the die cutter and you're done.
Yeah, and especially because you've got these little pieces in there as well that you just can stick on there, and they already fit into them.
Yep, fantastic. I just love how they all layer together. That's brilliant.
So that was me for today, Michelle.
Excellent. Okay, well, let's get your camera back up then.
Yeah, can I flip it over?
Yes, you can. Excellent. So wasn't that just an absolute joy? Firstly, that project with Marlene's, it was just so lovely to see the watercolours and how that comes together, the highlights, and then really just using those shadows makes such a difference to that piece. It really just, like I said, I think shadows is really what takes craft to art. And then just seeing all those gorgeous books too, and just looking at the different ways the dies fit together is really exciting. So Marlene, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you very much for having me. I really enjoyed being on. And I hope that everyone loves the project and enjoy it. And please show me your results. I'll take a picture of my results and I'll pop it into the group so you all can see it.
Yeah,
thank you very much.
It is just lovely just watching people going through that process and getting, just understanding that when you break it down into small steps that we can do it as well.
Oh, yes. Thank you very much, Michelle. Yeah. And I hope to see you guys soon again.
Oh, we can't wait till you're back in Australia. We're looking forward to seeing you.
Okay. Bye,
Excellent.
everyone.
Thanks, Marlene.
Bye.
Fantastic. So we hope you enjoy that, and definitely go back and watch the replay so you can catch all those subtle things that Marlene did with that piece. And like I said, just the way that those dies were laying up, I'm just absolutely overawed with the way that they just come together, and really thinking about all that detail and really thinking about how you can use them to layer up. I think that's just a really fantastic thing. So thank you all for the comments. Thank you for sticking around for our extended demonstration with Marlene. Like we said, any other questions, pop them in the comments and Marlene and I will definitely get back to them. Please continue to share us with your crafty friends. Let everyone know we're here. And I think we'll be wrapping up this session, and then we'll be wrapping up the day. So this is Michelle signing off. We hope you have a crafty day.